points, as they'd done so many times at school. The world was a less interesting place without her.
Vamos a continuar con este jueguecito, con el zorrillo.
And this is why heroes are called dashing, Renato thought. See? Dashing? Get it? Thought, Renato?
Logro bloqueado. Qué mal lo hice, tío. Perdí más vida aquí que Dios. Ay, aunque los haya matado.
He'd once met a pirate captain who used hooks to get around his ship. Oh, what was his name again? Sometimes, all you know is what you
No
know.
hay nada disponible. No podemos usar nada. Me fui. Me fui para no volver. Muy mal, es que estoy peleando muy mal, eh.
Good eyes you have.
Aquí un poquito mejor ya. Un pelín mejor. Vamos a ver. Justo ahora se me acaba la batería del mando. Hay que joderse. Pues nada, hay que cambiar. Vamos allá.
Sometimes, Renato really hated inanimate objects.
Todavía no hay esencias suficientes.
Ooh, sparkly, thought Renato. Sweet. A gem. All he needed now was a workbench, and he could slot it into his gauntlet. Reynardo wasn't entirely sure how he was going to capture Zenobia. She'd be expecting him. And he didn't have Lapino to cook up a clever plan. Why was it again that he hadn't got the core?
Vale, a full de vida. Pero no tengo más gemas, creo. ¿Tus golpes hacen que los soldados...? Ah, vale. Menos da nada, ¿no? Joder, corre.
Reynardo slinked through Zenobia's ship, making no sound at all. Where were her guards? Finally, he reached her bedroom. She was curled up on her bed. Oh, he'd forgotten how beautiful she was. How sleek, how soft. He tapped her on the shoulder with his sword. She vanished. And he suddenly noticed he couldn't move except his mouth. In fact, soon he couldn't keep his mouth shut. He told Zenobia everything. Skyripper, the Iblistone, even where the secret rebel base was, until he was hoarse. It was some kind of truth spell. A talky truth spell. She called her father by Farspeaker Toad and filled His Majesty in. But why didn't he get the core? Croaked the Farspeaker in something like His Majesty's croak. Because I missed you, darling. Reynardo grinned. He doesn't even know why, frowned Zenobia. That makes no sense. It's a trap, shouted the Emperor. I'll meet you at the outpost, and I'll bring my interrogators. If Reynardo came face to face with the Emperor, maybe he could assassinate him. But maybe it would be smarter and safer to turn Zenobia against her father. You're lying, she said. Somehow you're lying. The spell hadn't worn off yet. He had to tell the truth. The trick was in making sure she wouldn't believe it. The core is perfectly safe, he said. And he tried his hardest to sound sincere. So is the Iblistone. In fact, I was trying to get them myself. Fine then, interrogators it is, she said angrily. I gave you a chance. The Emperor's interrogators were not especially gentle, even by weasel standards. Fortunately, Zenobia had locked him in the guest quarters on her ship, and she'd forgotten it had a toilet that, like all skyship toilets, could be vented into the abyss. This was not the sort of slippery fox he wanted to be, but just as they were about to land, he threw the latch, wrinkled his nose, and leapt through the open latrine. It was a short, safe landing. At least this part of the Nexus hadn't changed too much. Zenobia had been taking him to the Imperial outpost. She'd never expect him to go there by himself. Well, maybe she would. You never knew with her. What else could you hook? Bernardo knew Zenobia, and Zenobia knew him. She'd suspected a trick. Now he'd vanished. She would probably guess that was his plan all along. Perfect. Maybe she wouldn't use the Sky River. At least not without taking it to the scientists at the observatory first. Meanwhile, the Emperor would be coming to the outpost personally. This could be good. Good
Come on,
thing
Renato.
didn't have vertigo.
Oh my fucking god. Mira qué cofre más grande ahí.
Renato was face to face with the Emperor's bodyguard. They looked very tough, but the Emperor held them back.
Oh, where's my daughter?
And how would I know that? Renato grinned at him.
She lured me here so that you could kill me, didn't she?
Ah, don't be ridiculous, said Renato, trying his best to sound convincing. She loves you.
Oh, I knew it. The rabbit told me I couldn't trust her.
The Emperor hopped out the door. His phalanx of bodyguards retreated carefully. Renato heard someone call, "Arrest her!" as they left. Well, that's a job well done, thought Renato. Now the fleet will be in all sorts of disarray. But maybe he could find her in the mountains. She always used to go to the mountains to hide from the world. Maybe he could even turn her against her father. Or maybe he could reap the benefits of the chaos he had sown. It was time to report to the Rebel Council, and then launch the attack on a divided and very confused Imperial fleet. Renato felt very clever indeed. He'd told the Empire nothing but the truth, and now they suspected everything and everyone. So, why are you going to see Zenobia? He asked himself. It's not just a gloat, is it? No, of course not. Now, turning her against her father was good. It was very good. If she would actually join the rebels, that would be spectacular, right? That was definitely what he was doing. He wondered if he should have just told her the truth about her father. The Emperor had adopted her from a stray. That was the source of all her loyalty. But even then, he'd been dreaming of a bargain with the lost gods. They alone could make him immortal. The Emperor would have to seal that bargain with the life of someone who truly loved him. And who else truly loved the Emperor? But how could Renato tell her that now? Why would she ever believe him? Renato wondered if his future self had commissioned these poles. No skateboarding, the sign said. The funny thing was, she should have trusted him. He told her the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Oh, all right. The truth was, he'd played her like a fiddle. And how often had he ever done that? She was so smart. Smarter than him, really.
Oh my god, que me matan de 2 ataques.
And then it didn't.
Qué duro el pavo este, ¿eh? Vale. Por aquí.
You know what I hate about you guys? Everything.
Adiós. Adiós, adiós.
Fresh socks, thought Renato. Please be fresh socks.
Joder, tío. ¡Corre! Vale. Su puta madre, tú. No aparece vida por ningún lado.
Of all the artisans he was creating employment for. Truly, he was a job creator.
Esto da igual romperlo porque no hay vidas. Ni una, ¿eh? Joder. Voy ahí peladísimo de vida. Ahora, aquí aparece algo. Ah, menos mal, coño. Menos mal que había algo ahí, porque si no... Palanca, ¿no?
Renato had given away the location of the secret base. Fortunately, the Emperor thought it was all a trap. He even mistrusted his own daughter. Renato couldn't have done better if he'd planned it. What have you done to me? Zenobia demanded. My own father thinks I'm a traitor. So? But I'm loyal. So what? You're a bastard, Renato, she said. Now, you love that about me. You really did want the core, didn't you? And the Iblis stone. Yep. He gloated. You get all that? She said to the far speaker toad he'd failed to spot.
I am so relieved, my daughter,
said the far speaker. And Zenobia got into her ship and flew off. Damn it. The old far speaker trick. How had he missed it? This was very bad. Zenobia back in her father's good graces, and both of them ready to use the core and the Iblis stone. He got back on the Farfarer. Briefly, Renato thought of fleeing. The odds were surely against him. Never tell me the odds, he told himself. Odds confused him. He preferred to trust his gut. And so he sailed on to attack the fleet. Alone, if necessary. There were not many rebels here, and they were disorganized. The Empire had obviously attacked the secret base, the formerly secret base whose location Renato had so helpfully pinpointed on a map. There was still time to turn around, wasn't there? But Renato hated turning around. Heroes don't turn around, they just own their screw-ups and turn them into impossible victories, right? What's there?
Una gema de puta madre. Debe ser por aquí, ¿eh?
What was really fun was hooking yourself onto a moving ship.
The odd thing was, Bernardo's personal battle was going fairly well. The Ravens immediately in front of him were no quicker or tougher than usual. Where was the power of the core? Blasting him off into the abyss. And where was Zenobia? She must be up to something. But whatever it wasn't his problem. Not yet, anyway. It was all going surprisingly well.
Coño,
There was a
explotó.
radiance at the end of a long, dark tunnel. Mother, he thought?
De esos hay que apartar, que son los que explotan. Y te joden vivo.
I thought this is yours, said Bernardo. But he couldn't hear his enemy's answer.
Adiós. ¡Oh! Se la lío parda, ¿eh? Tampoco era tanta liada, pero quitaba vida. Perdía vida ahí, por eso.
Soon he'd confront the Emperor. Again. This time, he'd make an end of him. He'd screwed up last time, but he had a good feeling about this time.
¿Por qué coño no explotas, hostia? Perfecto. Renalo, vamos. ¿Esto para qué coño es? Sabe Dios.
At last, he came to Zenobia and the Emperor. She was sealing up a kind of squat coffin, banded with lead.
So glad you're here.
Croaked the Emperor.
You will be witness to my final victory.
That's creepy, Dad, said Zenobia. But thank you. Because of your shenanigans, we tested the core. It's really unstable. It could have blown us all up. It could, asked Renato. Anyway, we already destroyed your secret base, so we don't need a super weapon. We're just going to bury it. Do we, torture you? Or give you a medal? Sometime later, Renato got an invitation to attend the Emperor's ritual sacrifice of his daughter. They took him out of his dungeon cell and gave him all his medals to wear. A little while after that, the lost gods returned, and the sun went black, and the Emperor ate his soul.
Vaya por Dios.
Just like that, he was alive again, and back on the Farfarer, still fleeing burning Ubar. The book was still open before him. So, the book was a portal. It took you to the future when your destinies would branch. He had failed and died 3 times, but he'd learned another true thing. Zenobia still had feelings for him.
Ajá. Bueno, pues acabamos otra vez la historia, así que vamos a empezarla otra vez, porque este juego trata de eso, de empezar historias, la misma historia un montón de veces e ir por diferentes ramas. Así que corto el vídeo y otro día continúo otra rama de la historia.